just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.
Hello, I'm Lawrence Owen, and I am Colts Law, and today we are going to go over who I believe the Indianapolis Colts top breakout candidates for the 2020 season is going to be. Now, before I get started, if you're watching this on Sportscaster, please don't forget, go ahead, hit the like button if you enjoy the video, and follow me. That way you're notified next time I go live. If you can't do that, that means you haven't made a profile. Please spend 30 seconds, make a profile real quick. That way you could do that. You could also go over here in the live chat, just like Spurs with Aiden. That way if you decide you want to say something, feel free to do so. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget, please smash that subscribe button and the like button. You know how the analytics at YouTube work. Don't forget to check out the description below. And let's see here. Let's talk about it. Let's get started, shall we? I mean, first and foremost, there are a lot of defensive breakout players, in my opinion, for the Indianapolis Colts this season. But I want to go ahead and get to the offensive one very first. All right. Paris Campbell. Second-year player. He was a second-round pick last year. Spent the majority of the season hurt. He is without a doubt one of the top breakout candidates for this season. When you have a guy who can run 4.3, 4.2, high 4.2s, low 4.3, he's got absolute outstanding speed and has shown that if you can get him the football while he's on the run, he can make so much happen afterwards. So much happen. His yak yardage is unbelievable. He proved that in college. Last year, he had 2 or 3 games where he played where Brissett got him the football while he was on the run, led him well enough to where he was able to continue moving, and he showed what he could do with those kind of passes. Now, this year, he's got Phillip Rivers giving him the football. Phillip Rivers is much better at delivering a catchable football and leading a receiver, throwing a receiver open. That is something that Paris Campbell is absolutely going to just exploit like nobody's business this season. Rivers is going to love throwing Paris Campbell the football. Yes, the Colts went out and got Michael Pittman Jr. Yes, the Colts have T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. Hilton is very similar to Paris Campbell, but Paris Campbell's a bigger receiver. He's also a lot younger. T.Y. Hilton is going to be going the mid to deep routes. Michael Pittman Jr. is going to go mid to deep routes. That's going to leave those underneath routes nice and open for Paris Campbell to do catch and runs. If Paris Campbell gets 1,000 yards this season, that would not shock me at all. Now, I don't see him getting 10 touchdowns because I think the Colts' run game and a lot of your passing touchdowns will probably come off the deep play action. But Paris Campbell will get targets, catches, and a lot of yards. Now, let's move on to the defensive side, shall we? Let's start up front because isn't that where all teams start up? How about Kemoko Turay? Kemoko Turay, defensive end pass rush specialist for the Indianapolis Colts. Came in his rookie year, did pretty good. All right, I mean, everyone expected a breakout year to be last year. But Kansas City, Week 5 was his last game because he got injured. He got hurt. But my goodness, those first 5 weeks, he showed some unbelievable pass. There were times where it seemed like he was near unblockable due to his speed and the moves that he has. when he does speed edge rush around the corners, when he's able to do different types of end arounds and stuff, right? Stunts. Now he's going to have a guy, DeForest Buckner, beside him when he's running stunts and edge arounds and things of that nature. Someone who's going to absolutely, just draw the focus of the offensive line to. Kemoko's going to use that speed. He's going to end up getting 10 sacks this season. I think he will finally hit that double as long as he can stay healthy. His first 2 seasons, he has shown that he's a little bit injury prone. He's ended both seasons with long-term season-ending injuries. Expect Kemoko Turay to get over that hump, show to be a really good pass rusher for the Indianapolis Colts, long-term pass rusher. Every season he sits in the offseason and works with Robert Mathis. Robert Mathis sits there and teaches him over and over and over different pass rush moves. If anyone could teach him to be a great speed style pass rusher, it's that man. I want to thank Ladicor44 for joining the stream here on Sportscaster as well. Now, let's move on because of the pass rush of the Indianapolis Colts. This secondary's got 2 guys I believe could have breakout seasons. Because you have Kemoko Turay going to break out. Because you have DeForest Buckner, who has shown year in and year out that he is an all-pro defensive tackle that can get pressure up the middle. Because you have Justin Houston, who rejuvenated his career after coming to the Indianapolis Colts and having a double-digit sack season. Because you have guys like Danico Autry, who has shown where he could go stretches where he could get 4 or 5 sacks in 3 or 4 games. You're going to get a lot more pressure on quarterbacks. The Colts already shown that their run defense is outstanding. They're going to be able to have a much better pass rush. And because of that pass rush, it's going to make the cornerback job that much easier. Now, Rock Ya-Sin is one of those corners that's going to benefit from that dramatically. When you get pass rush on a quarterback don't have to sit there for 4, 5, 6 seconds. Doesn't have that luxury of sitting in the pocket because pass rush can get to him. That makes the cornerback's life so much easier. And believe me, Rock Ya-Sin understands that because the first part of his season when he was getting acclimated to the NFL as a rookie, he had some bad games, right? Most notably, I think it was Denver where he was flagged for pass interference 3 or 4 different times in the same game. That is something that he shored up right afterwards. And during the second half of the season, he proved that he was getting it down because he was only flagged 2 more times the rest of the season. And he was rated as, I believe, the second best rookie cornerback in the NFL during the second half of the season. This guy is an absolute stud when it comes to man press. He sticks to his guys like glue. He's very good at that. And because he can stick to his guys like glue, he's going to have a great season. He's not going to have to hold on forever. He's going to be, especially when they're in zone, because everybody who follows the Indianapolis Colts knows that Matt Eberflus loves the zone scheme. He played man coverage quite a bit more last season than he did his first year as the defensive coordinator, but he still loves the zone scheme. He still loves that style of cover 2. Rock Ya-Sin will be able to react to the football that much quicker because the ball will have to come out that much quicker. He won't have to cover his man for that long. He's going to have an absolute heyday back there covering teams' wide receivers, whether it be their number 1 wide receiver or their number 2 wide receiver. That has yet to be known because the Indianapolis Colts obviously let go of Pierre Desir and they picked up Xavier Rhodes and TJ Carey. Many expect Xavier Rhodes to be the number 1 corner. and that Rocky Sin be the number 2 corner because, I mean, Indy already has one of the best nickel corners in the NFL at Kenny Moore. So they have that slot locked up. They just need guys to be able to cover the other wide receivers for 3 or 4 seconds at the most. Rocky Sin is going to have a great season. Now let's back up a little bit further. That pass rush, as I talked about earlier, that's not going to allow wide receivers to get down the field as fast. That means quarterbacks are going to have to get rid of that football. There are going to be times when quarterbacks are going to throw prayers up for 50-50 balls, or at least what they think is going to be a 50-50 ball. Malik Hooker has had a promising start his rookie year. His second year, his third year, his numbers weren't there. He started off pretty nice, but his numbers weren't there. His rookie and second year, he had lots of injuries, season-ending injuries. Last year, he dealt with injuries throughout the season, but they weren't season-ending. But he had issues. There was a lot of stuff that he missed. Now, he had to play up near the line of scrimmage quite a bit because of so many injuries to the Colts secondary throughout the season. So he had to play up and play that strong safety position, and that's not what he's doing. That's not his specialty. His specialty is that free safety position where he's sitting back in the backfield waiting for those errant deep throws that he can run up and just knock down or, intercept in return. He showed a few times last year that he has the ability to do that. And with the pass rush that the Indianapolis Colts is going to have this season, I think he's going to have even more opportunities to do so. Because the Colts are going to run the football offensively. They're going to run the football and use play action to acquire the third downs when they don't get first downs on the first and second down of a series. So they're going to be very good at keeping teams off the field. And in order for them to keep up, they're going to have to throw the football because the Colts' run defense is very, very, very solid. They're going to have to throw the football more often than not. And with the pass rush, that means, quarterbacks. There's a lot of quarterbacks out there that absolutely love throwing the ball deep, even when they're under pressure. Especially the teams that the Colts play this year. I want to take a second and welcome Phils and Anna Banana to the stream here on Sportscaster. If you enjoy my content that I'm bringing you, don't forget to give me a like and a follow. I'd appreciate that very much. Don't forget to check me out on YouTube at Lawrence Owens channel. Now, if you believe, like I believe, that the Colts run defense and their pass rush is going to be there, that means the safety position is going to be so darn important. Now, the Colts went out and selected Julian Blackmon in the 3rd round. He's a free safety very similar to Malik Hooker. So people think, well, they picked him up because they did not pick up Malik Hooker's 5th-year option to replace Hooker. But Julian Blackmon's hurt. He's not going to, I don't believe he's going to be starting the season right away. It'll be a few weeks, maybe even a couple months before I believe he'll be able to get in. That'll give Malik Hooker the opportunity to solidify his position early. Now, the Colts also have Kari Willis in the safety position, but he's more of a box safety. Very fast, instinctual, very good tackler, especially in the box. Strong safety, who he's replacing Clayton Gathers, who they let go this season, did not renew his contract as well. So, The Colts' safety position is actually pretty deep. As long as Julian Blackmon turns out halfway decent and Malik Hooker can even approach, he doesn't have to be the Ed Reed that Chuck Pagano suggested when he was drafted. He just has to be half that. And he will solidify this position. And he could be a breakout player. I truly believe that this defense for the Indianapolis Colts is a top 10 defense. I think their run defense will be top 5. I think their pass defense will be right around mid-tier. And that'll put them in the top 10 position. Very much similar to how I feel about the run game, where the run game will be top 5, the passing game will be mid-tier, and that'll put them in the top 10 position overall. That would put the Colts top 10, both offense and defense, in the NFL. And you don't see teams with a defense and an offense listed ranked in the top 10, both, and not make the playoffs. It's just, it don't happen. So expect these guys, especially the first 3 that I said. The wild card is Hooker. The wild card is definitely Hooker. I think that he can break out this season. He just needs the defense to be there and do what they do best. And Matt Eberflus needs to use him as what his skill set is best at, instead of having him play like a strong safety at times. But I do believe this defense could be a very phenomenal defense. They were already very good last year. They could be phenomenal with the additions that they have acquired. And with health. Like I said, Hooker had some injuries. Kemoko Turay had a season-ending injury. Even Rocky Sin missed a game due to injury. As a matter of fact, I think Rocky Sin missed the. Did he miss the Kansas City game? Maybe. I'm not 100% sure on that, so I'll have to get back with that. But either way, I expect the Colts defense pass rush to be absolutely phenomenal. And because of that, that is going to help the secondary, and that's going to help Rocky Sin and Malik Hooker. And Paris Campbell, oh my goodness. For real. I mean, you got a guy who can lead a receiver passing in Phillip Rivers now. And teams are going to be so worried about the pass rush, or about the running attack of Marlon Mack and Jonathan Taylor. They're going to just, they're going to have to sit there and play man-to-man or one-on-one or a light zone against these wide receivers. And all 3 of these wide receivers are fast. Everybody knows the speed of T.Y. Hilton. Everybody knows Paris Campbell came out one of the fastest NFL wide receivers last year in the draft. Michael Pittman's a 4.3 guy as well. So you got very fast receivers. And the only 2 that will really have a chance of going underneath is Paris Campbell and T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. Hilton will take the intermediate underneath routes, whereas Paris Campbell, I believe, will take the short underneath routes. And Michael Pittman will take your 50-50 deep balls, or at least a lot of them. Also, obviously there's going to be post routes, go routes, all kind of patterns such as that. I want to thank everyone who sat here and joined me on this stream as I went over who I believe the breakout stars for the Indianapolis Colts will be in 2020. If you enjoy this stream, please don't forget you might see USN after my name if you're watching here on Sportscaster. That means I'm part of Unwrapped Sports Network. You could also follow other Unwrapped Sports networks by going up to the search bar, typing USN, and checking out all the people from Unwrapped Sports Network. If they have USN after their name, that means they're part of the network. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, follow, and share. And check out the description right down here. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law. And as usual, I want you to have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.